Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Invincible. We are checking out the first two out of the four episodes of part two. I am Ronan Unchained, and I got with me Los Muchachos. I got Busy and I got Samuel. Boys, shit went down.
All day, every day. What's up,
Sure.
Busy? What's
How are
up,
you
bro?
feeling?
Oof.
It was some craziness,
Everything.
bro. Some
Feeling
craziness.
everything, bro. The emotions, the shock values there. Y'all
Yeah.
like blood in action. You'll get plenty of that. A lot of small moments that don't even, like I said this before, but doesn't necessarily mean anything for the story, but it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Take that how you will. Um, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Cool.
mean, I think my thing was like the first two episodes are crazy because they start so strong and they end freaking strong. The
Yeah.
first episode threw me off because I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna ease us back into this. No,
No.
they don't ease me back into it at all. And matter of
Yeah.
fact, the next episode just like gut punches you in the
Mhm. It's like a two-parter in a way.
but it
Yeah.
legit is so dope, man. And I really appreciated how they set up certain threads from part one of season two. But what you're getting already is just gold, in my personal opinion.
Mhm.
I concur the notion, and just to let you folks know, we're doing non-spoiler stuff. So if you haven't seen the episodes, we'll give you our thoughts on what went down with these first two that we've got the privilege to see.
Yep.
Uh, but then hopefully once you experience it, you'll know where our emotions are coming from.
Yeah, if you guys want the spoiler stuff, as soon as the episodes drop, we will be dropping our reviews on this channel and our reactions on my channel, as well as probably Ronan's. So
Oh yeah,
stay tuned for those.
yeah. Let's just start off right off the bat with that great image you popped up of the immortal with the guardian. So we continue off of where we left off part one, and we're seeing 2.2 parallel storylines going forward. I had no issue at all with what was being transitioned. I like the fact that, and again, people were mad, why we're doing two parts of season two, but I like that you felt the weight of time, the
Yeah.
distance between them, and how you're seeing how the dynamics are with this new globe Guardians of the Globe team.
Yep.
And from what we started off and when we went with these two parallel stories, how did you guys take the dynamics of the new crew and where we left off of part one?
So I think it really works because I mean, obviously, nobody wants to wait between, especially when you're only getting 4 episodes. But at the end of the day, with the show that drops so many time jumps and does so much stuff like kind of related to that, it works. It really does, and not many shows can do that. Specifically because hype is a big thing that does die down, but the show really picks up like right off the rip, lets you know like we're not missing a beat. This is what's happening. This is what you loved before. You're gonna continue to get that, right away. And I enjoyed it. And although we kind of have a little separation between the characters, to see this Guardians team in action is pretty cool to see, of course. But that's not. There's a lot more to it. You know what I'm saying? We get a whole lot of everything in this episode. And that's just trying to keep it light.
Yep. I get the struggle with trying to want to see more, but not
Yeah.
more. Sam, what were your take on these first two?
Yeah, no, the first two were dope. I mean, introducing us kind of how the Guardians are dealing with things on Earth while Mark has been away, because
Yeah.
Mark was put in a very bad situation from the last season. I think it keeps it very compelling because at the end of the day, it's not just Mark that can save Earth. It requires like a team, and he hasn't really truly cultivated a relationship with them. And coming off the parallel of what Nolan did, like he was always there for them, but he never really had a relationship with them because of what he does, well, who he is. And it's kind of like that progression of Mark coming into his own while at the same exact time being a better hero than his dad perpetuated to be. I think is what makes these so good because again, there's characters in this season that I could care less about last season. And just using the Guardians of the Galaxy as an example, like Rexplode as a character, like they do so much with him as
Yeah.
a character
Oh yeah.
and they progress him so well. But then if I go down the line of like somebody like Eve, we got the amazing episode with Eve alone,
Mhm.
but they're still doing more things to elevate her as a character. And I mean, they do the same exact thing with Sandra Oh as the mom,
For sure. And they
Zazie Beetz
continue.
as Amber. I mean,
Yeah, and these are two characters who I truly want to talk about specifically. With Amber, there's a lot of moments that I know a lot of you guys were kind of finding her insufferable in season one, and as we saw in the beginning of season two, that changed. You know, and
Yeah.
it's just really cool to see the progression and kind of see these characters kind of change. But at the same time, it's really cool to see characters stay true to who they are, and I feel like we see a lot of that with Sandra O's Debbie. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, although she's not a super, she is one hell of a mother, and we're seeing like we're continuing to see why she was able to raise such an excellent son, why she was able to make Mark the man who he is, the man who stood up against his father, and we're just seeing the kindness of her throughout these episodes, and it's just been something that I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, I like to just throw some shout outs to Jason Mantzoukas, who plays Rex Blode. Um, Douchebag season one, and yet you find the humor in his life and can't help but laugh at it and almost pity at points. And with what he does with these first two episodes is uh, it's an amazing addition to what was already a great first season for the show. Just adds the love and care and engagement that fans or non-fans of the comic book will have with this character. And I like to piggyback with what you said, Busy. Sandra Oh as Debbie. Um, I don't want to make it too personal, but I see a lot of strength in my own mother and mothers that I do know, and how much there's perseverance against obstacles and all this stuff. And the fact that what she went through in part one and what she goes through now, it's such a fascinating journey and roller coaster to say the least. And also Gillian Jacobs as Adam Eve. I mean, I've talked about it with Sam and Busy before, and I might even drop something on later on that Adam Eve special did such a tremendous job with her character that when you get to her with this part two and for part one, it just you almost care for her to be the leader of this crew as much as you would want Mark to elevate his role with this community of superheroes.
yeah. And I mean, again, I mentioned Amber, but it was bad, man. Like the first season, it was really bad. I was just like, no, 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 no. But I mean, we saw in part one, but even more so in part two. I think the thing about it is when you think about Mark's mom and what she had to go through
Hmm.
before Nolan went crazy or showed his true colors, just sacrificing to be the wife of a superhero
Yep.
and raising a son. And it's kind of like, what does it mean to date a hero?
Hmm.
For real. What is the cost? Because it's not like, Amber's tied down to this man. She's got options, but what will it take for her to actually have a give and take relationship? And they really go into that in part two.
Yeah.
And I appreciate their approach to it, her as a character. And they used a lot of sincerity with her versus the first season. Like I really do appreciate how they took care of her.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that entire like kind of like sequence, if you will, explaining her kind of like just showcasing her emotions and how she might feel and kind of comparing her to another mother, if you will, that we are familiar with. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just they did like that whole moment just really it really made me like I already enjoyed Amber a lot more, in the season than I have in previous. But like they really just made me understand so much more. And I feel like if there is people that had some trouble feeling, a certain way towards Amber, I feel like there's gonna be moments here that will make you kind of sympathize a little more.
Yeah.
Not only for what she's already been through, but what possibly could be her future. So
Yeah.
it's just been something that I feel like they handled really well.
Zazie Beats, y'all. I'm
Yeah.
telling y'all, I will
Mhm.
never forget being when she had that big argument with Mark about the identity stuff. I went, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Sorry, Team GVS. Are you fucking kidding me? And to see where we went with part one and how where we go in part two, I completely agree. Doesn't take away how I felt that way initially and how um, let's just say I'll tease Busy and I's reactions that will be dropping. How there's you get all the shades of how we feel about Amber, and yet almost the growth we go with her and ourselves. I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, man. Is I think the other thing is that their approach to violence, and we just got off another crazy show when it
Yep.
became very violent. Yes, there's a lot of shock value in the violence, but it's not just shock value.
Not gratuitous.
There's actual stakes because I'm invested in certain people and things. And when you have things that can really tragically happen at any given moment, like it's a scary approach to how the story is going to go. And I think it makes it so much more insightful and engaging. And you want to rally to make sure that these people can survive. And I think there's another really good anime show that does that, My Hero Academia. They do that on a regular basis. They do a really good job with that. But this takes it to a completely different level because honestly, anything can happen in this show. And we're really holding our lips closed with some of the craziness that happens. It's so violent, so messed up.
I just myself because I don't want a lot of crazy stuff. It is bonkers. Like and I also want to say this out loud because I am a book reader and I've read up to the point to what we've seen. I'm like, yep, I saw that coming. Don't ruin it for folks, y'all. I truly, it's a unique experience seeing the fellas react to the way they are with these characters that I already known a little bit about, and yet the stakes don't go away. The stakes don't go away. The careness that we have for them, and also how much you would think some would be more egoistic, some might be more self-fulfilling, and yet you're just seeing how these superheroes as a community is growing. That's one thing I like to say about this show that I like fascinating, that the community is growing just as much as the individual is growing. The community is growing, and how non-superpower people and superpower people are going about that. It's really really intriguing for me.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Um, but yeah, nah, I'm impressed from what I've seen so far. I just know we need to see these last two episodes. Like
I know.
I'm so excited to kind of finish this out. Now whether or not I don't know if they're gonna go to another part or if they're just gonna that's it and then we gotta wait till season 3. I don't know. But from what I've seen so far, man, it's been an A to A plus to me. Like I don't really have any flaws with it personally. Like I'm really impressed.
Beautiful. Busy. What about you? What are your concluding thoughts?
So I think we're off to a really good start. I think people are going to be excited. A lot of little moments, but a lot of big character development moments, and I'm truly looking forward to seeing how they conclude the season.
Beautiful. My thoughts are I echo the fellas. I think it's an A straight through the line for me. One thing that I will say is that I heard some great people have with the animation because the style is a little bit different than in season one. And to an extent, I agree with them because I don't know. It's almost the same way I feel about Incredibles and Incredibles 2. Um, but either way, either if the animation feels just a slight little funky or whatnot, I just not take away from the music, the soundtracks, the choreography of movement, and what these characters are showing us through their mind, through their heart. Doesn't take away anything at all. And I will say this: that a while back, someone who we know, all probably know, Hector Navarro, said that this is the greatest comic book of all time. And as from what I've read, from what I've seen in animation, it gives that statement a run for its money. I think this is doing powerful stuff in a different way, the way Spider Verse is doing. Spider Verse is doing something game changing with the visuals and all that stuff, but this is also doing something for the medium of comic books and comic book stories and what you can do with these characters and these archetypes. So um, get everybody watching. Get everybody watching this show because the more people watch, the more they're gonna give us. And for better or for worse, it's gonna take us on a whole fucking roller coaster. Um, But yeah, that's my closing thoughts. Fellas, thank you so much for joining me on this series review of Amazon's Invincible Part 2. Busy, where can people find you?
You can find me at Busy Braun, basically everywhere. Busy Reactions on on Instagram. I keep doing that. I look forward to dropping a lot more reactions on this channel and then doing a lot more reviews over here as well. So stay tuned.
Beautiful. Best believe that the amount of bonker stuff I have planned out for this year. Forget just this show, for this year. So you're gonna want to subscribe and grow out the channel as well, and get this review and all these coverage you're getting from this channel. A lot of take. It is buck wild. The things we've seen.
Oh my gosh, you just not ready. If y'all knew what we just finished watching tonight, man, yeah, wait for that reaction. Anyway, we're gonna go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, everybody. Have a great night or evening whenever you're watching this. Bye.